Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to walk through, step by step, the journey of the Day of Judgment from an Islamic perspective. We're talking about turning these huge, abstract ideas into a story, a timeline that you can almost feel.
All right, let's just jump right in. This whole journey, it kicks off at the very end of everything we know. It starts with this incredibly personal, one-on-one meeting with God. Every single soul stands up to account for their life. And get this, there's no translator, no go-between, no filter. It's just you, your life's work, and the divine. I mean, a voice so powerful that tradition says even the angels faint when they hear it.
So, let's set the scene. You've been waiting for what feels like an eternity on these plains of judgment. The sun is scorching hot, like unbearably close. And after all this time, only two groups are left standing, the true believers and the hypocrites who are hiding among them. And every single one of them, I mean everyone, is dealing with this crippling, all-consuming thirst. But before the really intense part starts, the accounting, there's an act of mercy. And this is where we meet something really important, al-Hawd, or the Basin. Now, this is so much more than just a big pool of water. Think of it as a gift, a divine gift, given to each prophet to help out their followers before the judgment really gets going.
And we're not talking about just any water here. Prophet Muhammad's basin, for example, is said to be huge, like as big as the distance from Medina to Sana'a. And the cups, as many and as bright as the stars in the sky. And here's the kicker. Just one drink, and your thirst is gone, forever. It's this incredible relief that takes away the physical agony of the day, so believers can face what's coming next. But there's a catch. Angels are guarding it, making sure only the truly sincere get a drink. It's really the first physical reward for a life of real faith.
Okay, so your thirst is quenched. Now the real accounting starts. The next scene is just incredible. The sky starts to fill up with these scrolls, countless scrolls, and each one is the complete, totally accurate record of someone's life, floating down to find its owner. This moment, it's huge. It basically tells you how the rest of your eternity is going to go. Because this book, this scroll, has everything, every single deed, big or small, every word you ever said. It's a perfect mirror of your life. And how you get it tells the whole story. If it lands in your right hand, that's it, you're good. It's a sign of success and easy accounting, but if it comes into your left hand or even from behind your back, that means absolute terror and ruin are coming. So this brings us to a really key idea. On this day, your actions aren't just memories, they literally have weight. They have substance. And to measure that weight, a massive scale is set up. It's called al-Mizan. And this isn't some poetic metaphor. The tradition describes it as a real, physical scale with two pans that will weigh your good deeds against your bad ones with perfect divine justice.
All right, so how does this weighing actually work? Well, you're called up by name, you stand for your accounting, and what's the very first question? It's about your prayers, your direct line to God. It shows just how foundational that connection is. And there's mercy here too. If your required prayers had some flaws, your extra voluntary prayers are used to patch things up. Now for believers, this whole process is done privately, kind of a merciful way to handle their mistakes. But for hypocrites, it's all laid bare, publicly, for everyone to see. Okay, the judgment's done, the deeds are weighed, and then everything changes. The entire landscape just shifts dramatically. The ground literally disappears, and the world is plunged into pitch-black darkness, complete and total darkness. And in that void, there's only one thing that can light the way: your own faith.
This is where your internal, spiritual battery becomes your external, physical flashlight. It's a brilliant illustration, right? Your light is directly proportional to the faith you had in your life. Some people will have this massive light, like a mountain, lighting up the way. And for others, it'll just be a faint flicker on their big toe, just barely enough to see where to put their foot next.
So what is this light for? It's to help you cross what comes next. And this is the final terrifying test. It's a bridge called a Sirat, and it's stretched right over the raging fires of hell. And the descriptions of it are just intense. It's said to be thinner than a hair, sharper than a sword, extremely slippery, and the whole thing is lined with these massive hooks and thorns just waiting to grab people and pull them down. Now, how you get across isn't just luck of the draw. Your speed is determined entirely by your deeds. Think of every good thing you did in life as fuel for this crossing. So, some people are going to zip across in the blink of an eye. Others will be like a shooting star or as fast as the wind. But then, there are those who will have to crawl, on their hands and knees, struggling to hold on as the fire licks up from below. And this bridge is where we see the final undeniable separation. The believers, they're using their own light to find their way. But the hypocrites, they're given a light too. But it's a trick. It's a deceptive, temporary light. So they start crossing, probably thinking, whew, I made it. And then right in the middle of the bridge, their light just goes out. And they fall, plunging right into the lowest, deepest parts of the fire. So let's say you've made it. You cross the bridge. You'd think the journey is over, right? Well, not quite. There's one last stop. Think of it like a final checkpoint before you get to paradise. And its whole purpose is to make sure there's perfect justice between people. This place is called Qantara, and it's so important because it really drives home a point. Your relationship with God is one thing, but your relationship with other people, it's just as critical. No one gets into paradise holding a grudge or with an unpaid debt to someone else. Every single injustice, no matter how small you thought it was, has to be settled right here. And there's this really powerful, chilling saying from the prophet that talks about the bankrupt one. And it's not about money. It describes someone who shows up on the day of judgment with a mountain of good deeds, prayers, fasting, charity, the whole thing. But they also cursed someone. They slandered someone else. They hurt people. And so their good deeds start getting handed out to the people they wronged until they have nothing left. It's the ultimate balancing of the books, for real. Your good deeds are the currency you use to pay people back. But what if you run out? What if the harm you did was more than the good you did? Well, then you start taking on their sins. And this is why this stage is so crucial. This is the moment that could take someone who survived everything else, who crossed that terrifying bridge, and send them right back to the fire. It's that serious. But once all the debts are paid, once all the hearts are cleansed of any grudges or resentment, then the journey is almost over. The believers, with Prophet Muhammad leading the way, finally get to approach their final destination. The end is finally in sight. And can you just imagine this moment? The ultimate relief, the ultimate triumph. The prophet is the first one to knock on the gates of paradise. The angel inside says, "I was told to open for you and for no one before you." The gates swing wide open, and the first words from everyone entering are just pure praise and thanks to God. And there's another beautiful, merciful touch here. Any children who passed away in infancy are right there at the gates, waiting to greet their parents and lead them inside. So what's the first thing that happens once you're inside? It's a feast, a welcoming feast, hosted by God. It's this incredible act of divine hospitality, and it really symbolizes the end of everything bad. No more hardship, no more hunger, no more thirst. It's just the beginning of an eternal reward that we can't even begin to imagine. So when you look back at this whole journey, the thing to take away isn't just a list of incredible events. It's really a roadmap. It shows that every single thing we do today, every action, every word, it has a weight, it generates a light, and it has a consequence that we'll face tomorrow. So when you think about it, the journey to eternity, it doesn't start when we die. In a very real way, it starts right now.